And here it is. This is what you're reaching for and where we're headed with all of this rampaging that we're doing here. What it is all about is the realization of the power of the direction of your own intent. And so what happens is it's easy for it to be all clear when we're talking about energy and source and who you are and why you came and how the laws of the universe work. That part's pretty easy. We can feel you really getting that. You were not, any of you, far away from what we were just saying. You were right there getting it. We know that you were. But then it seems like it doesn't need to, and it really isn't the way that it is, but it seems like when it starts shifting into manifestation where we have things and relationships with those things and life experiences that vary, while your power is equal and your intent coming in is equal, as it starts over generations, there's not a word for the number of generations that have been creating here, what happens is you become more and more to your disadvantage, increasingly focused on what has manifested rather than the joy of the process of manifestation. And that's when you start comparing it and judging it and fighting over it and claiming ownership of it and resenting others. And that's where you seem to lose your place. Once you become really physically ingrained in your society, that's when you want to fight over territory and fight over morality. When you're all free to choose and the law of attraction will bring to each of you what you want, there's no reason for anybody to fight over anything, because all you got to do is be clear-headed and it'll come to you. But because you're looking at each other instead of looking inward, because you're more comparing what's manifested instead of being in the mode of being a new manifester, then what they're showing you on television can shake you up. And it's easy then to become something that you never intended to be, someone who pushes against unwanted rather than propagating wanted. That's right where it lies, right there. That's right where everything that is frustrating to you or unsettling to you or gets you stuck, it's because as humans, you have gathered a lot of momentum going toward, well, there are good things and there are bad things. And we say, if you could just get over that. There are things that feel good and things that feel bad, but there isn't a good and a bad that's been assigned by something outside of you, that it is your job to figure out what it is. And that's what's tripping you all up. So you want to assign badness to things, and then you want to push against those bad things, and we certainly understand why. It's just that every time you push against something in an attraction-based universe, you don't push it away, you call it to you. And the harder you push, the more you get what you do not want. And then your television reports it all. You could live in a wonderful place where your law of attraction is brought to you because of the focus that you have. Mostly a really wonderful life where you're just knowing what you want and feeling satisfied with what is and eager for more. And it just keeps unfolding in wonderful ways. But the television doesn't do that. The television is oriented to looking all around the world, because something that humans have learned about humans is that you are characteristically more ready to push against something than you are to advocate for something. Because in your progressive, you've learned it from each other, and of course everyone isn't that way, but there's sort of a rampant insecurity that makes you want to push against everything that you're afraid of. And as you push against everything that you're afraid of, you just create more of what you're afraid of, and then the television reports it to you. Then it goes all around the world. In the early days when we began flowing through Esther, we said, this is the way it really is. So you're watching your television, you're watching your box. Doesn't look like that anymore, does it? You're taking a look at it, and it's life-giving. It's music, and it's art, and it's dancing, and it's happiness, and it's people being born, and people running and thriving and prospering. And if it were really in balance with the balance of your earth, that's what you'd be seeing. All day long, that's what you'd see. And at some point during the day, we suggest it happen in the middle of the night, but that's a variable because it's the middle of the night in really different times for everybody. But at some point during the programming, there's a zzzt, and you say, oh, what was that? And we say, that represented everything bad that happened on the planet today. In a day's programming. Wonderful, 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 beautiful, beautiful. Zzz. That's not the way the programming is it? The programming is a tree, a little dog, but the dog's hungry. Starving, it's got its empty bowl in its mouth. It kills Esther. She sees that. She can hear the music. She tries to find the remote. Don't want to hear that. Don't want to see that. And there are people that say, well, then you're not doing your work if you're not willing to accept it all. And we say, of course you accept it all. How could you do otherwise? It exists. But what do you want your focus to be on? What do you want to be the catalyst that opens your portal? And what portal do you want to open to what? Do you want to open it to vitality and flexibility and eagerness and clarity and fun and love and joy? Or do you want to open it to things that hurt you every time you see them or even think about them?
So growing up, I've been very spiritual in church and ministry. And
you say again, you have been or haven't been?
I have. As a Christian, and I have had a business and manifested a lot of things. Yeah. And I've had some deep awakenings with divine and seeing things. And for me, I would say I became awake, one with all. I know that I am infinite. And having that power of manifestation is almost like a fear of manifesting of what's next. And
you don't need to be afraid, because if you're not ready for it, it won't come.
Well,
and the fun is getting ready for it. And there's no rule that says you need to get readier than you are.
And I have been getting significantly ready, because when I awakened, I made that decision to be an act of service. And in doing so, I've studied and done a lot of modalities, but it's almost like that fear of taking on too much more and going down the wrong path than what my soul actually is supposed to do. So my question would be like being stagnant, and what's any advice to this?
So we're just going to succinctly and quickly and accurately wrap this all up for you, because you're going to get this easily. So you come from source energy and you are an uplifter, and that's where your continual impetus, your entire life to be of value to others came from. And that's the body of the energy of what happens here is Christ consciousness. But it's not only Christ consciousness, because all of those masters and beginners of those religions came from source energy, and all are presenting themselves in the way that they do for the readiness of whoever can sync up with it. In other words, there's such a tendency, and this is what we feel you're speaking to. It's been active in you for a while, and that is the right path thing. Because there are a lot of different ways that you can go that all lead you to the same place, and they all are about love. And so when we break it down in the simple way that we do, and we help you to realize that you are more than this body, that you were non-physical energy, and that then you came into this body, but you're not only in this body, you are non-physical energy, it helps most people make the link between their soul or their source. But we're not just interested in helping you know who you used to be and who you now be, because it's all this continuum. Who you used to be is focused here, and what's focused here is focused there. So it is all this pure positive energy that is presenting itself for the purpose of upliftment, yes. And certainly, if you really want to be of service to others, love yourself. It doesn't matter who you love, just love. Just practice yourself into that feeling of love until it comes most easily, so that you're so willing and capable of nearly instantaneously being able to give anyone the benefit of the doubt. Because when you give someone the benefit of the doubt, you choose to see them as your inner being sees them. And when you see them as your inner being sees them, then you are of service. You are of the most service that you could ever be when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and holding someone as your object of attention. And there's no one right path, but there is powerful intention that keeps opening another path and another path and another path. Esther meets people all the time and will have a 2-hour conversation with them on the airplane and never tell them what she does or who she is or anything about Abraham or even law of attraction. She just listens for opportunities to confirm with them the goodness or the wellness of the path that they're on. There's no direct path to anything. Helpful?
Yeah, I have that love yourself about finding my heaven here on earth, and I realized...
About what?
Finding my heaven here on earth. My heaven here on earth.
By creating it.
Yes, and realizing, I let my cup overflow, but love myself and and choose that. And I'm on the path of doing that, and that's the scary part. It's like not the scary, but realizing that in loving myself and choosing myself first, I can now co-create where I want to live, what I want to do, and how to feel. Yeah.
But there's something unsettled in you, because in that connection that is love, there is not fear. Love and fear cannot abide at the same time. And so that's what you're reaching for. You're reaching for, how can I make this all blend? And you can't until you trust the emotions that you feel. When you feel that love, you're home. And when you feel anything less than that, you're on the doorstep. Or not quite home. Doing extremely well. We think the need to label it is a human thing that you do. It's because you don't trust the receptivity of others. That's what happens with most of you. This is a room full of teachers and uplifters and healers, and you don't really trust that others will give you the benefit of the doubt. There are people that have a heyday if they're trying to define what Esther does. The most uncomfortable thing that she ever experienced is listening to somebody trying to explain Abraham to somebody. Because how would you possibly go about that? She got over that a long time ago, that she doesn't feel a need to explain anything to anyone, because she knows that it's impossible to get everyone to understand it anyway. She said to us early on, Abraham, why are there so many teachers out there teaching bogus stuff? There was a lot of religious slamming in the beginning from people that would come and so on. And we said, if everyone were in the same place, then one teacher would be just right for the planet. But because there are billions of you in billions of different places, then the law of attraction is in action and bringing to whoever wants whatever they want to the degree of their readiness to receive it. We think you know all of that. There's just that one little piece. And we can define it like this, speaking from you. I so want to fulfill my reason for being that I'm afraid that I won't. I so want to be of value, but I don't want to mislead anyone. I so want to be sure of what I'm doing. I so want to be sure of what I'm doing. Yeah. And you just do that by practicing it. This feels like this, this feels like this, this feels like this, this feels like this. We find you quite sure, friend. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.